Angels are looking to turn things around. They're in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, and the Colorado Rockies, 1 game back in the National League West, are in town for a quick 2-game set. Let's see if the Angels can get it going against the National League, our last interleague game of the year. We welcome you inside our broadcast booth and back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and when the Rockies are in town, or even when we are in Colorado, subject always seems to be about Nolan Arenado, the Southern California product out of El Toro High School, a fantastic player, Gold Gloves, and he could just pretty much do anything at the hot corner.
Yeah, Victor, 2 of the best players in all of baseball. We know Mike Trout, but Nolan Arenado is one of the best players in all of the National League. What he does with the glove, what he's been doing swinging the bat, he has been crushing the baseball. Top 4 as far as average, home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, and also with runners in scoring position, one of the top. 311 batting average this season with 90 RBI for Arenado. He saves games with his glove. One of the best range. Mike Schmidt had talked about him being the best defensive third baseman he has ever seen. He's starting to swing the bat like one of the all-time greats at that third base position.
Well, the Angels will have Odrisamer Despaigne on the mound for the Angels, and Shohei Ohtani back in the lineup with John Gray on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. We're just about ready for baseball here in Southern California. Sit back, relax. Lineups and first pitch when we return.
Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. He'll shoot one out toward deep left center field. Headed toward the rocks. Incoming! Big fly for Mike Trout. New 2019 Jeep Cherokee. Embrace every new opportunity with a redesigned exterior and 31 highway MPG. Test drive one today. By Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. And by your SoCal Mazda dealers.
Back out here at the Big A, 76 degrees on this beautiful night for baseball. This Monday night, mentioned the Angels were swept by the Houston Astros this weekend, so they're currently in a 6-game slide, trying to turn things around somehow, some way against this Colorado Rockies ball club. The Angels now at 63 and 68 on the season. Will send out the veteran Driessenberg Despaigne, making his 3rd start since joining the Angels. The Rockies, of course, they're managed by the former pitching coach of your Angels and former big league manager of the San Diego Padres. It is Bud Black, and this is the lineup. And Bud will run out there for game number 131. Rockies at 71 and 59, one back in the National League West. Blackman will lead things off. He's in center field. DJ LeMahieu at second base. Carlos Gonzalez in right field. Nolan Arenado, the cleanup hitter, at third base. Trevor Story's had a nice season. He's the shortstop. Matt Holliday out of nowhere, he's DHing, already making an impact with the Rockies. Ian Desmond's at first, David Dahl in left field, and Tony Walters this evening will bat 9th and do the catching. Despaigne, as we mentioned, making his 3rd start. So far, Gooby, he's 0-2, total of 8 innings, 12 hits, 7 strikeouts, 8 runs allowed. There have been innings in which have snowballed on him, and then there have been other innings where he's been actually pretty good.
Yeah, he's really spotting. It's all those different arm angles he throws. My go-tos for Despaigne to be successful against a club he's had success against. Better cutter command. It's time he's let that cutter out over the plate, and solid changeup angle. That means drop down to that 3/4 angle with his changeup, that better fade action, especially away from left-handed batters, and then down and in against right-handed batters.
Check out the defense for the Angels this evening, and it's Eric Young Jr. in left, Mike Trout in center, Cole Calhoun in right. The infield, Taylor Ward and Andrelton Simmons on the left side, David Fletcher, Albert Pujols on the right side, and Francisco Arcia behind the plate.
And Andrelton Simmons has been so good at shortstop this whole season, but his last 26 games, 1 error, 22 double plays turned at shortstop, 93 total double plays turns, which leads the majors in that category.
Second meeting of the season between these two teams. They split a 2-game set in Colorado. May 8th, May 9th. Charlie Blackmon ready to lead things off. Center fielder hitting 277. He'll take the first pitch strike. First pitch brought to you by Toyota Place. 76 degrees, we mentioned. Blackmon 19 doubles, 6 triples, 23 home runs, 56 RBIs. And that is upstairs. It was counted 1 ball, 1 strike. Dan Bellino calling the balls and strikes tonight. Adam Hamari at first, Ryan Blackney at second. The crew chief Tom Hallion over at third. Blackman fouls it off. We've yet to see. It's the last time we saw Tom Hallion behind the plate.
Yeah, we need him behind the plate. He's one of the all-time greats behind the plate, especially with his call 3rd strike. I know if you're a hitter, you're not real happy about him, but pitchers do. Despaigne is well over on that first base side of the pitching rubber. And the reason why you do that is to make sure you get inside with your fastball. He tried that changeup, that fade changeup. That's what I was talking about with his arm angle. He has to stay on top of it enough to get that close to the strike zone, then fade off the corner.
There's that off-speed pitch, a full count. Last time for Despaigne at Arizona, took the loss, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits, 4 innings of work, 4 strikeouts through 87 pitches. Blackmon rips one down the line of foul, hooking into the seats.
Mentioned Despaigne's numbers career-wise against the Rockies. 3-0 with a 2.01 ERA. This first inning is going to be important for him, I think, here tonight, and the Angels against the Rockies. Especially the top of this order.
And a leadoff walk. So Blackman's on board for DJ LeMahieu. It's a Rockies team, when you look at their offense as a ball club. I mean, the 4th in average, 4th in home runs, 4th in runs. They lead in slugging. They're 7th in on-base percentage. They're 4th in stolen bases. And that's the guy, prior to that picture of Bud Black, that that offense revolves around, and Arenado.
It's funny, listen to Bud Black when he's talking to the media today. A lot of the way he goes about his business as far as a manager, he remembers and watches Mike Scioscia. See there, a bunt hero in that situation early in the game, trying to get a run across early, or running, going first to third, hitting runs. He said his big thing was, and Mike Scioscia said the same thing, pressuring the opponent's defense, even early in the game. Both teams very solid defensively, but when they're out of their comfort zone, when you're moving runners, it's a more difficult defensive play.
Leadoff walk to Blackman. He's at first. Slow breaking ball looped out the left. Wise there. One down. So it's Carlos Gonzalez coming up. It talks about the Coors Field effect, especially on the offensive side of things, but the Rockies overall have played better out of the road. 37-29 away from Coors Field. Now, that being said, their last at batting average as a team in the National League away from Coors Field at .234 compared to leading the way at .279 at home.
Comes down to the defense and the pitching on the road. Cargo has been great in interleague play since 2016. Tops with Mike Trout as far as batting average at .367, so he's very comfortable in interleague games. Trouty comfortable in any environment he's put into.
Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Gonzalez, a right fielder, hitting .290. 14 home runs and 54 runs batted in. There's the 0-1. It's upstairs. Fastball.
And Espana has been running his fastball at times up 94, 95. He'll throw a slider, cutter, curveball, changeup. 3 different arm angles he'll throw at also.
One pitch. Fouls it off. 1-2. And these two teams met in May. You had 2 right fielders. Gonzalez only played in one of the 2 games at Coors Field, but you had 2 right fielders, Cargo and Cole Calhoun, that were really struggling on the offensive side of things. Gonzalez at that time was hitting .213. And what a turnaround for both guys. Obviously, we've documented Cole's turnaround since being on the disabled list. Gonzalez tonight comes in batting .290. .344 on base percentage as Despaigne steps off.
Well, a lot of room on that left side of the infield to cover for Taylor Ward, a converted catcher. See him right here. That's where he's situated.
Off speed pitch, cut on and missed. 2 down. First strikeout for Despaigne. Blackman stays at first.
The importance of that off speed pitch for Despaigne.
Third baseman number 28, Arenado.
Spins that slow curveball, looks like a strike, ends up in the dirt. Blocked well by Arcia, keeps Blackman at first base.
Here's Arenado. Second round pick in 2009 by the Rocks out of El Toro High School. He takes that pitch inside. 4-time All-Star. 5-time Gold Glove Award winner. 3 Silver Sluggers. He's 27 years of age. Hitting .311 with 31 home runs. 90 runs batted in. Touched about it in the pregame show a little bit about outside shot of a triple crown. He's not leading those 3 categories, but he's right there.
He's outstanding with runners in scoring position. Does everything well.
Uses the entire field. There's an approach right there of trying to go the other way.
He reads a break ball, didn't try to pull it, tries to drive at the right center field. Pretty good third baseman at El Toro High School, don't you think?
That's what I hear.
That guy in Oakland's pretty good.
Yeah. Matt Chapman.
Bouncer to third. Ward to the backhand has it. Across the diamond, and that's it. A leadoff walk stranded at first base. We're headed to the bottom of the first here at the Big A with no score. Of the season. Mike Scioscia will have Cole Calhoun laying things off at right. David Fletcher at second. Mike Trout at center. Shohei Ohtani at DH. Albert Pujols in the 5 spot at first base. Andrelton Simmons at shortstop. Francisco Arcia behind the plate. Taylor Ward at third. It's Eric Young Jr. batting ninth and playing left field as they take on the 26-year-old right-hander, native of Shawnee, Oklahoma. Is brought to you by your Southern California Chevrolet dealers, and that is John Gray. 10-7 with a 4.67 ERA, but don't be fooled by the numbers. He beat the Angels earlier this year. Had to go on the disabled list, came back, and he's been kind of a different pitcher since.
Yeah, he's thrown a lot more breaking balls since coming back from the minor leagues. He's got an outstanding fastball, 92, 97. He'll throw a slider, curve, changeup.
Cole 222, 17 home runs and 51 runs batted in. Drives one out toward right center field. Blackman got a good jump on it. He'll track it down. Hacking early. There's the first out.
And my go-tos to be successful against John Gray here this evening, pretty much on that swing, is look for a fastball middle in and jump on it. Batting average a little over 300, 320 as a matter of fact versus fastball. And then create havoc on the bases, especially with runners on. 295 batting average against him with runners on is 232 when the bases are empty. So be ready to jump on a fastball and then create havoc. Running, taking some chances as far as going first to third and stealing bags against Gray tonight.
Fletcher 271, 13 doubles, 2 triples, a home run, 21 runs batted in. Fletcher yesterday 1 for 4. The Angels a total of 4 hits in the 3-1 loss to Houston. He'll hit this one out toward left center field. Blackman will dive and he'll rob Fletcher of extra bases. Heck of a play by Charlie Blackman.
That's 2 really good plays, good reads, and Blackman's a really solid, aggressive center fielder. It's our top tier play brought to you by Arco. The read off the bat. If he doesn't get to this baseball, this is at least a double. Dives and makes an unbelievable catch before hitting that outfield grass. 2 solid plays by Blackman out in the outfield already for the Rockies. We said they're a solid defensive team on display. First 2 batters of the game. So try to avoid center field unless it's about 20 feet over the fence.
Readjusting the scouting report. Do not hit it to Charlie Blackman or in his vicinity. Mike takes a strike.
And I didn't highlight him on the defense.
You did not?
No, I did not.
That would have been the death knell right there. Johnny yesterday 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts and a ground down. 0-1. Lifts this one out to right. Gonzalez is there. And a very quick 1-2-3 first for John Gray. We're off to the second with no score. The suite rental, get access to all-inclusive packages for you and your guests. Call 888-796-HALO or go to angels.com/suites for more details. Top of the second, throwback weekend. It was Players Weekend. We started the throwback on Friday night. And tonight, the Angels wearing their 1988 unis. And the Rockies, of course, are not because they weren't around in 1988. What would they have been known back then? The Zephyrs? Were they the
Yes.
AAA? Playing at Mile High?
Yes, they did.
Story, Holiday, and Desmond here the second for the Rockies. It's two pretty good hacks here by Trevor Story, the shortstop. All-star this year.
A couple years ago, watching him, and they were talking about him being a chance to be their everyday shortstop in spring training. He was crushing the baseball. And he was on his way to possibly Rookie of the Year before getting hurt. Corey Seager ended up winning that, but he was outstanding himself. But Story with great numbers his rookie season.
Not too bad this year. 26 home runs, 85 runs batted in, also 36 doubles and 5 triples. Overthrown breaking ball, 1-2.
And 19 stolen bases.
Yes. First round pick out of high school, Irving High School. That would be in Texas. Just 25 years of age. Former home of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sure you really
Yeah, I love that.
thrilled about that.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for that fond memory.
God can't watch them in Irving anymore. They're in Arlington now.
Yes.
Isn't that the reason for the opening in the roof?
Yes, it was.
2-2. To the upper deck.
Already seeing a couple different arm angles for Espana tonight against this Rocky lineup.
I mean, you still throw a 93 to 95. Does it behoove you to mess around with the arm angles as much as he does? Full count.
I think because he throws a lot of his off-speed pitches from those different angles, he has to throw his fastball on occasion. Otherwise, they can just sit off speed. But yeah, I do like the fact he can run that fastball, but he creates more movement when he drops down just a little bit with his fastball. Will run in on the right-handed batter pretty effectively.
And he walks him. So he got ahead 0-2, back-to-back innings, a leadoff walk. Matt Holliday coming up.
But also, to your point, Victor, it's very difficult to be consistent in the strike zone when you got 3 different arm angles. You have to have outstanding balance over the pitching rubber every delivery.
And it's kind of my point. I get it if you're a veteran pitcher and you don't have the velo anymore and you're just trying to kind of reinvent yourself. We see left-handers do it all the time. Then I understand it, but you still have pretty good fuzz on that fastball. Not you, him.
Wow, thanks.
You might still. I don't know. I haven't seen your BP lately.
Well, from 40 feet, I do.
Oh, wow. Yeah, everyone throws gas from 40 feet. Is that on a mound, on a slope?
One of those easy go mounts. Yes, I have for over at Chaminade.
To get a running start, throwing BP.
Yes. I still got it. And pretty good movement.
Feeling pretty good today.
Yeah.
Holiday, the DH, takes a fastball for a strike. If only were that easy.
Oh, yeah.
Holiday signing a minor league deal back in July with the Rockies. This is the original ball club that drafted him. It was back in 1998. 7th round pick.
Still says he was safe on that slide against the Padres.
I'm sure he does.
Yes.
Down goes Holiday, saying that ball hit the ground. Nope. Tried to sell it. 1 out. George Orta thinks he's still safe at first base.
He was too, by the way.
Safe.
Let's take a look at our Nissan pitch cast where this pitch was. Good slow break ball. 73-mile-an-hour curveball. 2 strikeouts today, both on curveballs. See where that starts, see where it ends, and a swing and miss. The variation in the speeds of the pitches there in that sequence against Holiday. Espana get a strikeout. George Orta was safe, by the way, at first.
Well, he was actually called safe.
Yes,
You're right.
he was. Don Denkinger, you were right.
This one lifted out the left center field. Eric Young Jr. is there. Trout will take hold. 2 down. Desmond retired.
He wasn't real happy. He felt he had a pitch to hit a long way, and he got underneath that one as he threw his bat down as he started jogging towards first base.
It's never operator error. It's always the equipment.
Yeah, yes. He's really turned his season around. Remember, we saw him in Colorado. He was really struggling. 20 home runs now for Desmond, 74 RBI.
Second year of a 5-year deal that he signed. 2 outs, that leadoff walk, still over at first base. David Dahl, the batter, he's a left fielder. Dahl hitting .271. 7 home runs and 21 runs batted in. 24-year-old. There goes Story. The pitch outside to throw down by Arcia. Into the runner, and the glove and ball come loose. They had him.
And that
like
throw was going right into Story as he was sliding in. And Anthony Simmons trying to catch the baseball and apply the tag, and the glove knocked off his hand by Story. 20th stolen base. See the back foot as he's reaching, trying to stay connected with that slide from Story. See the slide going to that back corner of the base. He's going to be out if he's able to control that one, but difficult to do that with that type of slide, and really not able to control down on the baseball. But his glove is Simba's so good at that. Story now a 20-20 guy. 20 stolen bases, 26 home runs. Mike Trout a 2020 player of the season also.
Pickoff attempt. Espana a little bit late in getting around.
Simba goes, you know what? You knocked my glove off one time. I'm going to get you this time.
Squeeze it tight. Yeah, slap that tag hard.
Yeah.
Two on. Kind of fooled both Dahl and Arcia. That ball has some serious movement on it. Pitch has been effective already with a couple of strikeouts. 2 of them to be exact. 2 walks for Espana. And a full count. A little bouncer foul. Tony Diaz, first base coach. Man in scoring position with 2 down.
Pretty good battle here. Wonder if he'll try that slow curveball.
Espana, 16 pitches in the first, 19 so far here in the second. Little liner towards Simba. He's got it for the 3rd out. So for the 2nd consecutive inning, that leadoff walk stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the 2nd with no score. outfield from left to right. Arenado and Story on the left side. LeMahieu, Desmond on the right. Walters behind the plate.
And LeMahieu, an excellent fielding second baseman himself, two-time Gold Glove winner in 2014 and 2017. He's turned 63 double plays so far this season. 991 fielding percentage, second best in the National League in that position.
Here's Shohei Ohtani leading things off. John Gray threw 6 pitches in the first and retired the side in order on 3 fly ball outs. Show was a pinch hitter late in the game yesterday. He'll look at a strike. 273 batting average, 14 home runs and 40 runs batted in for the Angels DH. Ball kind of ran.
Change up there.
This line foul.
Got a fastball. You look at numbers against Gray this season versus fastball. Batting average against John Gray, 320 versus fastball with 8 home runs. But just 210 versus his secondary pitches, but also 8 home runs. So a lot more breakables of late. It's a fastball just off the inside corner. And Shohei's wanting to get a fastball in that inside part of the plate, and that's when the one he can drive a long way.
Takes outside, full count.
It's pretty good bat working for Shohei Ohtani so far.
Albert on deck, 3-2, lifted foul.
So far this season, Shohei Ohtani, 11 of his home runs, 11 of his 14 home runs have been on fastballs, and Gray has thrown a lot of fastballs in this at bat.
Another payoff. Back inside of that fastball at 94. Shohei shoots one out to left field. It's playable for Dahl. 1 down.
It's 4 fly ball out so far for Gray. Hyundai key for this game today for the Angels to be successful against this Rocky ball club, a very good Rocky team, and John Gray on the mound. He's a little poison. I want action, not necessarily just hitting the ball. That means running the bases aggressively, putting a lot of pressure on Gray and the Rocky defense throughout. I want action here tonight, especially for the offense. Over the last 6 games is 14 runs scored.
First one to Albert. As that fly out toward right center field, slicing away from Blackman. He'll run this one down. He's been busy tonight. All 5 outs in the air tonight against Gray.
And 3 of them to Blackman out in center field, all hit well and aggressive on the first pitch, looking for fastballs, getting it, lines that one. Looks like he had a chance to get away from Blackman, but able to run that one down. He's certainly getting his workout in. First 2 innings.
There's Anderson Simmons. He takes downstairs. Simba hitting 293. 8 home runs and 59 runs batted in. Been a tough August for him. He's hit just 247 this month with a 278 on base percentage. Bouncer toward third. Arenado has it in foul territory.
Thrown a couple changeups already in this game. So a lot more sliders since coming back from his minor league assignment. Same thing, a little bit more curveballs, but less fastballs. You look at the numbers for Gray, especially when you go back to July 24th, the percentage of breaking balls thrown just under 54%. Second highest in the majors behind Clayton Kershaw. He had 59%. And you're talking about a pitcher that can run that fastball 92 to 97. He's had a lot of success doing so, though.
Two balls, two strikes, two outs. Full count. Garcia's on deck. We're scoreless here at the bottom of the second.
Great photo of Anderson Simmons up on the board, footloose. Great look. Great time to get those feet moving.
6 degrees of Anderson Simmons.
Yes. It's outstanding.
Payoff. Chopper. Arenado comes in. Get rid of it quickly, and the throw pulls the first baseman, Ian Desmond, off. They might have to take a look at that.
Everyone's kind of slowing down. I was wondering how he was able to keep his foot on the base, especially with that throw going towards Anderson Simmons. Arenado got a lot on it, ran towards him, so he was able to keep his foot on.
He drug that foot. No argument from the Angels. We're scoreless as we head to the third.
Of one of the all-time greats, like Witt. Throwing out the first pitch, you had some pretty good movement on there, didn't you?
The armor's not working too well there.
But you had good spin rate up in the strike zone. You know, with all the launch angle talk we've had, you got somebody to pop it up once again.
Soch told me I should have been on the rubber there, as far as I can get it.
Isn't that the worst? That guys tell you to get it back up on the mound and throw the first pitch?
God, it would hurt. It would hurt.
But you did it. Almost.
Almost.
How's everything going?
Everything's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's your golf game?
Golf game's good. Played a little tournament today, Rod Carews tournament. Had a lot of, played with Fred Lynn. Haven't seen Fred Lynn in 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
We see him a lot.
You hit the ball right down the middle?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I got a little curve on it. Sometimes it's left and sometimes it's right.
Yeah.
Into the middle of the fairway.
Yeah.
One way or the other. He shapes his shots. That's what he does.
Isn't that the idea?
That is the idea.
Somehow.
Oh, I wish that was the case for me.
You like the throwback unis? I mean, bring back some memories for you?
I didn't know they were going to do this, but yeah, that brought back a lot of memories there. You know, these guys look like similar players that I used to play with, you know, in their uniforms like this.
Now, you got to play with a lot of really good players over the 80s there with the Angels. How many, like, future Hall of Famers, guys that were outstanding players?
Yeah, we were talking about Fred Lynn and I were talking.
1-0 Rockies. Walters with his 3rd home run of the season. First run of the ball game. What were you saying about Fred?
So we were just talking about all the guys we played with. So when he came over, he was 30 years old. Freddie Lynn, you know, MVP and all that stuff, and he came over. He was one of the younger guys in the group with Reggie and Doug DeCince and Bob Boone, and we were going down the list of all these guys, and he's looking around at spring training. His first spring training might have been 82 or something like that. And he's going, this team might be able to do some damage. And then he looked around at the pitching and he goes, if these guys can do anything. And, you know, that year in 82 and 86, we had some really good teams that put the ball over plate and put the ball in play. And those guys scored a lot of runs for us.
It was pretty amazing the number of big name guys that were on those ball clubs. When you start to break it down a little bit, you've already mentioned some with Reggie and so on and so forth. I mean, just there was a lot of big name talent. And then the Angels had some guys like yourself coming through the system and kind of supplementing the roster with those big name players.
Absolutely. They were older guys that knew how to play the game, so there wasn't a lot of coaching going on there. Although Gene Mauch was one of the best managers ever, he knew how to kind of work their talent. And then, you know, you had myself and Gary Pettis and you know, Devon White a little bit later on, but then Kirk McCaskill came up, so we kind of had an influx of guys, younger guys coming up. But you know how Gene Mauch had to work with Reggie and Doug and Bob and Brian Downing and Fred Lynn and outwork all these personalities. And you know, he was a one run at a time kind of guy, and these guys like to mash the ball. So I mean, we're bunting the first inning, and you know, I could just see Reggie going. I mean, he was pulling his hair half the time. What are we doing here? And you know, invariably we ended up winning a lot of games with Gene as the manager.
Now, how was it when you threw to Bob Boone, though? You mentioned Booney. He was so good. I remember getting a chance to throw with him later in his career. He was so smooth behind the plate.
Unbelievable. Well, I got him as a 21-year-old kid, so I was, you know, coming up with the guys in the minor leagues that we're kind of figured stuff out. But here's a guy from Stanford, had played in Philadelphia, and he's guiding me through these games. I rarely shook him off, but Bob Boone is probably, what, 6'3", you know, he's probably carrying 230, 220 at the time. He made himself look like a little midget behind the plate. So that half the time, the only thing I saw back there was the glove half the time.
And he used to set right in the middle part of the plate. You remember this game pretty well, don't you?
And watch Bob Boone here.
Yeah, how he never moved.
Look how tiny he is, though. I mean, he hid behind his little catcher's glove. Look, yeah,
that was a good moment, huh?
Yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah, okay, we always ask this question, and everyone goes, well, I didn't start thinking about it till the 7th inning. I always thought when I got one out to start the game, I was thinking of a no-hitter. When were you thinking about that?
That was later in my career. If I got through the first, I was like, yahoo! No, in that game there, probably after the 5th, you know, I knew that there was no hits, but I didn't know there was like nothing, because I don't remember, you know, getting to a 3-ball count there either. But I think I had 3-2 counts in that game, but after the 5th, and you can see it on if they played that tape back, guys started separating. They'd walk around me in the dugout between innings. It was the funniest thing in the world. From the 5th, 6th inning on, there was nobody sitting within 10 feet of me.
Last game of the year. Good old Arlington, Texas. That ballpark, hot. Actually, late September's not too bad, but still, I mean, it's one of those things where you're going into a game, you're like, all right, off season's coming around. Let's just, you know, and all of a sudden, you get on this incredible roll.
Well, it was funny because the night, you know, guys are trying to, you know, finish up their seasons on a hot note, but at the same token, it's the last game. But that was the first time I was going for 15 wins in my career too, so it meant a lot to me. And when I saw the lineup the next day, he had Johnny Mack had most of the starters out there. I think Sconiers was starting at first at the time, but he was the only guy that was not a regular starter out there. I thought, no, I got a chance here. But I'm facing Charlie Huff, he had won 15 or 16 already, and he's starting to get on a roll. I think he threw a 6-hitter that day, but you know, everything just happened to work that day. Had a good
off the glove of Albert, and it goes a base hit. Nobody's covering. So everybody is safe. Hopefully Albert's all right. Kind of grabbing that wrist.
That's 4 straight to reach against Espana. Home run, walk, single, single, and they're loaded up.
Hey, by the way, going back to that perfect game, when you think about it, now you're separated from your playing days. You look back and go, you know, I did something that not many people in the history of the game ever did. There's been some no-hitters, but perfect games, not many, all time.
You know, at the time, I think it was 12 or 13, and now there's, where are we at, 20-something, maybe 30 even? I don't even know, but it seems like there's been a lot more since I did that. But, you know, in the recent history of it, you know, in the 10 years since I had done it, I would think about it quite often. But, you know, it's been so long now. It's just something that happened in my career, and I was happy to be a part of it. You know, somebody came by, ESPN was doing a documentary on perfect games, and one of the questions was, do you think there was a lot of skill involved? I said, well, everybody that's thrown one had a lot of talent to do it, but I said, and if you could ask every single one of them, there was a bit of luck involved as well. Because
was there any plays during the course of that where you remember specifically where there was an outstanding play or just something went your way?
And that's exactly what I brought up. I said every perfect game has 2 or 3 plays where you look back and go, how does that happen? You know, how did that? You know, Doug DeCinci had a one-hander at third base charging. Scully had a ball in a 5-6 hole that he barely got the guy. Mike Brown had a catch on the warning track in right field.
Ground ball to short, should be 2.
Yeah, so you got a double play.
Double play, the run scores 2-0.
And he asked me, he said, so Sandy Koufax, and I said, if you ask Sandy Koufax if he had a little bit of luck in his perfect game, I guarantee if he's being truthful, he'll say, yeah, absolutely.
But you can go back to either perfect or a no-hitter and kind of point out. I mean, I remember Weaver's no-hitter here. I remember there was a foul ball down the left field line that was just foul, and then the bunt. Mark Trumbull was the third baseman that game and stayed in the entire game.
Oh boy!
Fielded a bunt.
That's one of his first games at third base.
Third base,
exactly.
exactly.
Nice play on it.
So I mean, you do remember every little play like that.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how that works out.
I don't remember any of the easy, you know, double plays that we might have had or ground balls. I remember the hard plays that were made that day, and I was like, that could have easily gone either way. He could have slipped out of Doug's hands as he came charge one hand, and Scully could have bobbled that ball. Mike Brown could have tripped and hit the wall and bobbled. So there's a little bit of luck in every perfect game.
As you became a veteran on the pitching staff, who did you help as as you went along? The younger guys like a Chuck Finley, or you mentioned Kurt McCaskill's.
Well, I had been up for probably 6 years by the time Chuck had gotten here, 5 or 6 years. And I remember him in spring training the first year that he got called up, and I thought, man, this guy's big and strong, and he knows how to throw strikes. And sure enough, later in the year we called him up, and he kind of finished the year strong for us in '86. And so, he was a sponge though. He came to spring training in '87 and kind of wanted to figure things out. And I didn't do anything specifically and talk to him but I just kind of did my thing, which was, I worked hard. I knew that I had to work hard just to stay up in the big leagues, and that was my thought process every year I came into spring training. And I think he saw that. But he had Blyleven and Abbott, and well, actually Abbott came a little bit, but McCaskill. I mean, a lot of hard workers that he could kind of watch and go.
And then later on,
and then Brian Harvey and Willie Frazier and all these guys that were kind of coming up at the time. You kind of had to get in line a little bit. You couldn't just come up and say, "I got this,"
Yeah.
Little different game nowadays.
I'm hearing that.
Out to left field, Eric Young Jr. moving over. Winner, always great seeing you.
There we go.
You're one of the best.
You were able to close it out there with a double play. Good job, my man.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, nice
Thanks,
job,
Mike.
man.
Awesome.
Rockies strike for 2 runs. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Angels down.
for Bud Black on the mound, Goobs.
Reginald Martinez Jackson, number 500 against Bud Black. I'm sure he's really happy when he hears that in the clubhouse, and we're re-showing that highlight of him giving up number 500 to Reggie Jackson. Rick Smith there too.
Yeah. Halos down 2-0. Garcia to lead things off.
Nice job by Despaigne to limit that damage in that inning.
3 walks overall, 3 hits allowed, including the home run. Now you get a base loaded, no out situation with Nolan Arenado at the plate. You only allow 2 runs, one of which was on the home run. That's a good thing. RCA drives one out toward left center field. Charlie Blackman moving over.
He's fly ball. Incredibly busy out there in center field. By the way, Mike Witt can crush a golf ball too.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
It's funny because you know, having grown up, the Angels, my old man joined the organization '82 and was there until '92. So I watched a lot of these guys growing up, and you know, as a kid in Kansas City, they'd come through and get a chance to bat boy. You know, back then I thought these guys are giants.
Yeah.
You know, Witt's tall, Chuck Finley was tall, and so on and so forth. I still feel small. I'm 6'2". These guys still make me feel small.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he was a great competitor.
You make me feel small. That's why I call you Goobzilla.
Yes, you do.
He's a little bit bigger than you.
Yeah, he is.
He is just a tick.
Yeah, him and Finn.
Yeah, Finn as well.
Yeah. But Witter, he was a tough competitor.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk to him. And as the Ward goes down swinging for round number 2, the contrast between back in those days, and he was talking about being in line, right? So nobody came up to the big leagues thinking that they've had this figured out.
Yeah.
And there was that conversations between the veteran guys, the young players, and how to pitch in certain situations. You guys are just talking about Bob Boone and the impact that he had in your careers, and you only had him for 2 years behind the plate. And I know he managed you as well, but it almost seems as if that's kind of a lost tradition of passing down the information. Or the way to kind of perform at the highest level.
And you remember you were saying you were around those guys. Can you imagine if you're Mike Witt and you have a chance to talk to, you know, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson on the bench in between innings? Okay, what would you be looking for in these situations? That's the most invaluable information you can get as a pitcher. Those guys know exactly how to set up pitchers, know what to look for in counts. Now you get the chance to ask him that.
Yeah.
And then you can take that on the mound when you're facing a competitor, which is better than any scouting reports you're going to get, because these guys are walking encyclopedias, and they got to play with a lot of great players over the years with the Angels there in the 80s.
Breaking ball upstairs.
We always joked around. Every time you played the Angels, it was like, okay, I got every one of these guys as Slurpee cups, baseball cards, everything. I'm like, these guys are incredible. What was on this team.
Eli fouls it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, hitting .221. The other thing you don't see today, you don't see guys having the bat boys running back and forth from the bullpen looking for the key to the batter's box, or the bucket of steam, or the bucket of curveballs.
I hate to say this, but somebody played a little trick on one of our people today on the keys to the batter box.
Today?
Yes. Yeah, I thought you
love it.
Yeah, oh, yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Yes.
I remember they had my brother in Kansas City going warning track to George Toma on the other side.
Where are the keys?
Where are the keys to the batter's box? Guys want to hit. The bucket of steam is still the all-time best. Bucket of steam. Where do I get? Because the face, you have this look on your face like, where do I get the bucket of steam?
Yeah.
Like, and you want to just nod like, yeah, I got it. I'll bring it.
Yeah.
And you're like, where do I get the bucket of steam? Go in the shower, turn the hot water on real hot, take the bucket in there.
You think that'll work? Oh, yeah, for sure.
2-2. Eli takes just low, full count. Out to left field. Dahl moving back on it. And 9 up, 9 down for John Gray. We're through 3. Rockies on top 2-0.
Now, every day before the game, Mike Trout takes time to meet his fans, and today was a big one as he made 16-year-old Darryl Brown's dream come true. Darryl has stage 4 chronic kidney disease and just got out of the hospital this weekend. So with the help of Make-A-Wish and the Angels, they rushed to get Darryl here today to meet his favorite player, Mike Trout. He got to hang with Trout during batting practice and in the dugout. And guys, Darryl told me this was the best day of his life and his dream to one day be playing in the big leagues. And it's moments like this that make the game of baseball so special.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got goosebumps just thinking of that right there. That's fantastic.
And Holiday with a leadoff single. Saw a highlight of Carlos Gomez in St. Petersburg yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was after a game, handing off a bat to this kid, his fan, and in the hug between those two. And it's like, I think players today understand it, or are starting to understand, especially with social media, the interaction that they can have with their favorite players, assuming that player is active on social media, that the impact that they have, those little things, and how much they mean to those kids. And it's not about giving something away in order to get that reaction, but it's just being a chance to talk and be around a situation like this. I mean, that smile right there.
Yes, and look at the smile on everyone in the family.
I mean, it's something that they will cherish forever. And I hope more and more athletes in general, and I think for the most part everyone does a pretty good job of doing it, of interacting with fans. I know it's hard, especially in today's society with the spotlight on you all the time. Guys, we were talking about the other day, guys can't go out like they used to. I mean, just go out to restaurants or go downstairs and hang out. It's just because of the constant barrage, and I get that. But I think for the most part our guys get it very well.
Trout is the best I've seen. Really, I mean, and the smiles he puts on so many faces in tough times.
I think he gets it because he understands that it's more than him. It's bigger than him.
Yep.
Two balls, two strikes.
Yeah, the impact you can make on a young fan's memory bank. Let's keep that forever. Just that smile they'll have on their face because you go and just not only you're going to sign some things, but just to give them a smile and talk to them. It's a great feeling for you as a player, as an athlete, to do that.
Out to center field. Trout's there.
And you know he was going to hit a line drive to Trout.
But you're right. It's all about the connectivity that you feel. It's not, like I said, about getting something out of it as a fan. It's just, especially like a selfie. It takes 2 seconds.
Well, we had some fun out
it,
before the pregame show. There was a couple young Angel fans out, and we were just high-fiving and talking, and they were saying, oh, they love Moto Mondays and Gooby Tuesdays and love the Angels. And it makes you feel so good. You know, everyone, I mean, they love baseball for one, but to be around the smile on a face for a young fan is just, for me, is priceless.
Here's Dahl lined out to Simmons in the second inning. Nothing easy for Despagne. Leadoff man has reached in all 4 innings so far. One scored, and that was a leadoff home run by Walters in the 3rd inning. That's pulled down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Holiday heading to third base. He is going to be stopped there. Clearly at 38 years of age, not able to get around the bases as quickly as he would like. It's a double. Second and third, one out. And here comes Walters.
Pitch ends up being towards the middle part of the plate, and he's able to get out the barrel of the bat and hook that right down in the corner. Matt Holiday picking up Stu Cole, third base coach, right away, and stops him. Wise decision.
Infield halfway. Good pitch on the outside part of the plate. Home run that Walters hit leading off the third. His third of the year. 23 runs batted in now. 0-2 count. It's a short schedule throughout Major League Baseball. 7 games total. 2 others still currently being played. Cubs hosting the Mets and the Astros. The start of a 3-game set against the Oakland A's. Houston leading now at 8-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Seattle idle.
That was pretty interesting the way Houston Astros players came out with their Dream Crushers t-shirts.
Yeah.
In Oakland, talk about the dream season and what they've been able to do so far, and it's been an amazing turnaround for Oakland. Where they were the last time they played the Astros and where they are right now. It's a pretty good little rivalry building between the A's and the Astros.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Houston at the start of the day, 1.5 game lead over the Athletics. They've won 5 straight. Oakland's won 3 in a row. Seattle 6.5 back in the West. Bouncer towards second base. Holiday's not going anywhere. 2 down. So the infield can move back now to normal depth with Charlie Blackmon coming up. He's walked twice tonight.
Been patient so far, but he might be aggressive on the first pitch if he gets a fastball, so you got to be real careful where you spot this if you're Despaigne.
Matt Holliday standing at third base. Dahl at second. Three balls, no strikes.
Interesting when you look at the numbers for Blackmon versus Despaigne in his career, 2 for 12. He's pitched very carefully tonight.
Takes a strike. Trying to keep it a 2-run deficit. And there's Blackmon's 3rd walk of the night, 4th overall issued by Despaigne. We're in the 4th.
Some movement around in the bullpen now. They just got stirring around.
DJ LeMahieu at the plate. He's 1 for 2. It's the first 3-walk game Blackmon has had this year. Second time. Despaigne had to deal with the bases loaded. Five hits so far for Colorado. They scored twice in the 3rd. One ball and strike. And missing off the plate. 80 pitches now.
By the way, the Astros opening it up against Oakland now 11-4.
First time I think since late June. AJ Hinch has penciled in a lineup that includes all 3 of his big boy players, Springer, Altuve, and Correa.
And at top of the order, just looking at the box score so far. 8 hits combined with 6 RBI.
And 6-run score for that top 4 in their lineup with Springer back in there.
1-2 offer. He's off that slow breaking ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ty Buttrey, first man up for the Angels. 2-2. Bouncer back toward the middle. Simmons and Fletcher. Fletcher to the backhand. Nice play off balance. And retires LeMahieu. No damage for the Rockies here in the 4th.
Yeah, real good range for David Fletcher. He's made some solid plays at second base. Get used to that position. Backhand, got a lot on that off-balance throw to finish off the inning. No run score for the Rockies.
Pack for only $44. Get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 soft drinks. For more information regarding the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack, go to angels.com/funpack. Halos looking for the first base runner. 9 up, 9 down for John Gray, including a strikeout. 7 fly ball outs, 1 ground out to go with that strikeout. Cole, fly ball to center. First pitch he saw, he'll take a strike.
John Gray continues to throw a lot of fastballs here this evening. And when you look at his percentages, especially of late, how many breaking balls he's thrown. He's relying a lot on the fastball. The defense has made some pretty good plays in the outfield for him so far.
Oh, 2 pitch. That's ripped to right field. There's that first base run of the game. Gray will work from the stretch for the first time.
And that was a slider there. First hit was on a breaking ball. So that slider down and in right to that area of the strike zone for Cole to be able to turn on. Stay back on the well. Even the first at bat, he hit the ball hard center field, but this time gets a breaking ball inside part of the plate. That leg kick and drive through the baseball, the barrel of the bat.
out in front, lines it into the right field for a hit.
There goes Cole. Fletcher does not swing at it. Calhoun is out at second base.
I think we'll take a look at that to see if he got his hand in there. Cole looking in. That's probably going to take a quick call in there to Andrew Bailey. See if he's able to get that hand in there.
Well, looks like it, right?
Yeah, I think he'd take a shot at it. It's a good angle right here. Goes to that back part of the base. Looked like that hand is in there before the tag.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, the call is out at second base, and that was Ryan Blackney. So Tom Halling, the crew chief, will come down.
Even from the angle we were at up here, we had a pretty good shot at that base. It looked like there was some separation between that tag and his hand on the base. More like it would be the 6th stolen base of the season for Cole.
Okay, takes that outfield side of the bag too.
Yep. It's a longer tag.
Assuming the hand stays on the base. Tag. Yeah, tag's gone. He never came off the base. No. Headsets are coming off. See what they decide. Safe. Overturned. We're talking about the pregame show about John Gray and being somewhat susceptible to the stolen base.
Yep. 10 stolen bases now allowed in 14 attempts. This is where the batting average increases against Gray with runners on.
Push bunt toward first base, and that's a beauty. Infield base hit. First and third, nobody out. Trout coming to the plate.
Well, we were touching on that's even again back on the pregame show about stealing some bases, situational hitting, bunting. Take a look at it. We Make It Easy, brought to you by SoCal Toyota. Perfect bunt, forcing the first baseman to field that one. Desmond has no one to throw to at that point. Not only getting the job done as far as getting Cole to third, but picks up a base hit, bringing up Trout now with 2 runners on base. Got a pitch, a perfect pitch to bunt down that first baseline. It was successful with it for David Fletcher.
Mike lines one to left field. There's a base hit. Cole will come in to score. The Angels are on the board. It's 2-1 Rockies. Trout with his 61st run batted in.
A couple things come into play right away. For the Angels, create havoc with runners on. You have Cole stealing a base, a perfect bunt, and then Trout with a runner in scoring position jumps on an early pitch and lines it in the left field for an RBI single, 61st RBI for Trout. Lower part of the strike zone, Trout's going to crush it every time. Does so. Trout hit .312 versus fastballs this season. Got one and lines it into the outfield for an RBI single.
2 straight hits for the Angels to start this 4th inning. Here's Shohei Ohtani. A balk. Fletcher will move to third and Trout to second.
Now you got a chance now with 2 runners in scoring position for Gray. Yeah, what he did there is he's first with thinking about standing up in that from the stretch position, that slight little hesitation. A balk.
First one to Shohei.
Any kind of movement like that when you're looking in for the sign, because you're connected with your foot on the pitching rubber. Any type of movement at all, unless you follow through and get in your stretch position, it's going to be called a balk, and that's exactly what happened.
Ohtani with a fly ball to left field, leading off the second, is 0 for 1. The 0-1. He'll drive this one to left center field. Blackman going back. Gone! Big fly, Ohtani's on. 4-2 Halos.
Pitched this simulated game earlier today, a 50-pitch game, 3 innings, and then hits a 3-run home run. His second at bat for Shohei Ohtani. Take a look at our cricket smile. And a smile on the face for Shohei Ohtani. Got a fastball coming into that swing. A .353 batting average with runners in scoring position. And Shohei, a 3-run home run on another fastball, drives it out to that part of the field again. How quick and how strong he is on a pitch on the outer part of the plate, and how far he can hit it. The smile, that cricket smile on the face for Shohei Ohtani. He doesn't take any time getting around that bases either. He gets around quickly.
Runs like a gazelle. 4 batters up, 4 hits, 4 runs. Here's Pujols. Albert, a fly ball to center field.
What a turnaround by Andrew Bailey, seeing that Cole Calhoun got his hand in there at second base. The overturned call, all of a sudden, the Angels up 4-2.
Again, going to that center, to just left center for Shohei Ohtani. Incredible power. Albert bouncing foul. 2-1.
Take a look at our StatCast AI powered by AWS on that swing and where that baseball ended up going for Shohei Ohtani. Exit velocity 106.8 miles per hour and over 412 feet. Launch angle 24 degree for Shohei Ohtani.
3 balls, 1 strike. Well, that's one way to remove Charlie Blackmon from the equation. Just hit it over the wall.
And well over the wall. It's good seeing those smiles in that dugout.
Albert lifting this one out to left field. Dahl was there. Just got in on the hands enough. 1 down. Base is clear for Andrelton Simmons. Andrelton, a ground ball to third base in the second inning, 0 for 1. 4-2 Halos. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Oh, 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ohtani now with 15 home runs. 43 runs batted in. 61 strikeouts as a pitcher.
Don't you think he's got to be in that conversation now?
Sure.
I know Andujar has been amazing for the Yankees.
Yep.
As Torres has been also for the Yankees, but Shohei Ohtani. 15 home runs. 43 RBI. 4-1 record on the mound.
16 doubles, 1 triple.
Even 6 stolen bases.
Hamilton pops it up. Arenado to foul territory. So 2 down, nobody on. And Francisco Garcia coming to the plate. Ground ball. This one over to short. Story has it. That'll do it. John Gray settles down, but he gives out 3 singles, and then the Shohei Ohtani blasts to left center field, giving the Angels a 4-2 lead.
Well, how quick he is through those hands. The drive that went out to center again.
Great deal on all new Hyundai vehicles. See your Hyundai dealer today. By Carl's Jr., the Western Bacon Cheeseburger is calling your name, little buddy. Pick it up. And by the 2018 Subaru Forester. A whole lot to love.
Top of the 5th inning, the Angels with a 4-2 lead in the opener of this 2-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Gonzalez, Arenado, and Story, 3-4-5. Despagne back out of the mound, but Ty Buttrey, who was up and loosening last inning, is also warming up, just in case. Nothing easy for Despagne. 2 strikeouts, 4 walks, 5 hits allowed. Gonzalez fouling it off. 1 for 2. Struck out in the first, singled in the 3rd inning. We were just talking about Shohei Ohtani. Matt Birch, Angels PR staff, put out a tweet. 15 plus home runs and 4 plus wins in a season. Shohei Ohtani this year. Babe Ruth with the Red Sox in 1919. And Jimmy Ryan with the White Stockings in 1888. This is shot through the left side. Good piece of hitting by Gonzalez.
1888?
1888.
Wow. Mike Scioscia looks like he's ready to go to the bullpen now with that swing.
Well, it's 5 straight innings that the leadoff man has reached against Despagne. And with a 4-2 lead, you want to keep it that way. Despagne will be done after 86 pitches. Ty Buttrey is on in relief. A pitching change in the 5th. The Angels on top. something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time.
The Angels go into the bullpen as Espana is out of the game after going 4+ innings. Gave up 6 hits, 2 earned runs. This moment, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. First home start in that Angel uniform for Espana. Ty Buttrey coming in the game now for the Angels. Scoreless inning in each of his 4 career games. This is his 5th appearance for Buttrey. He runs a fastball up to really good 94, 98. Solid breakable slider curve.
Last pitch down Saturday against the Astros went 1 inning. Faced 5 batters, struck out 2. Takes over with nobody out. Gonzalez at first and Nolan Arenado at the plate. Rockies third baseman 0 for 2. A ground out to third base. And a double play ball.
Take a look at our Kia drive to success with Nolan Arenado at the plate. What he has done so far this season's been magical on the offensive side. Top 4 as far as all those rankings. 3rd batting average, 2nd in home runs, 4th in RBI. The leader's just a little bit ahead of him in each one of those categories. So a potential Triple Crown season for Nolan Arenado at this moment.
Tough with Matt Carpenter just keeps going off with the home runs. Freddie Freeman leading the National League in hitting right now. It's almost, and I said on the pregame show, like J.D. Martinez of the Red Sox. As Arenado gets underneath this one. Taylor Ward down the line.
He has struggled so far in this ballpark. Now 2 for 11 in his career for Nolan Arenado in a place where he saw many games as a baseball fan in person. Sometimes the most difficult thing to do is play in front of in a ballpark where you grew up, and with a lot of fans and family around, where you're trying to do too much at times, whether you're at the plate or on the mound.
How crazy it would have been for you to play in Philadelphia?
I didn't do real well at times in Baltimore when they were all down there, and I was close enough. I couldn't imagine what would have been like in a Veterans Stadium back in those days.
Oh, 1 count on Trevor Story. Walked, stole a base in the 2nd inning, hit a fly ball to left in the 3rd. The game in Houston, a final now. Oakland taking the opener, that 3-game set, 11-4 over the A's. So now 2.5-game lead over the Athletics, a 7-game lead over Seattle. The Yankees lost today, so they're 83-48, still in the #1 wild card spot. Seattle 5 back in the 2nd wild card spot. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 runs, 6 hits, 6 left on for Colorado. 4 runs, 4 hits, nobody left on for the Angels. One more tomorrow night against the Rockies, and it's off to Houston. Off day on Wednesday. 4-game set against the Astros at Minute Maid. 3 in Texas against the Rangers, and then another off day a week from Thursday before starting a 3-game set against the White Sox in Chicago.
It's amazing how many times we've played the White Sox in a series in September.
Yeah. Next year that goes away. It'll be the Yankees next year.
Chance for strike him out, throw him out. Was he able to try to get that quick tag on the leg? Gonzalez picks up a stolen base.
That throw just sailed to the 2nd base side. Matt
Checking to make sure that wasn't a tag on the leg. That was real close, but didn't look like he quite got that leg. Real good angle here. Just couldn't quite reach it. as far as the leg for David Fletcher, but a good try though.
An off-speed pitch. Holiday 1 for 2. He's the DH.
Between the curveball and slider for Buttrey, very, very impressive, along with that upper 90s fastball.
No balls, 2 strikes. Matt last year, the New York Yankees, 105 games at .231 with 19 home runs. Drove in 64. Yes, he did. Down goes Holiday. Ty Buttrey comes in and gets the job done. We're off to the bottom of the 5th inning. Halos on top 4-2. .07 first pitch. Enjoy a post-game Nick Jonas concert presented by Strikeout Slavery. For more information, go to angels.com/promotions to get your tickets today. 2 more homestands for the Angels after this one wraps up tomorrow night, including the last week of the season. Taylor Ward, Eric Young Jr., Cole Calhoun, 8-9-1 against John Gray. He retired the first 9 batters in a row, then gave up the single to Calhoun. Bunt base hit to Fletcher after a stolen base. A single to Trout with an RBI. Then Ohtani, a 3-run home run. Downey lit up at a ball and a strike. The only strikeout for Gray was of Ward in the 3rd inning. So hit towards second. Red ball off the just hit the spin on that thing.
Yeah, that's a serious spin to it. Let's take a look at our tools of the trade. Brought to you by Ram Trucks early in the game for John Gray. We talked about using those a lot more breaking balls, but his fastball early on, and Angel hitters squared it up with some solid defensive plays against his fastball early, especially by Charlie Blockman out in center field. But then the same fastball, this time squared up very well. Mike Trout, RBI single, and Shohei Ohtani, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Another fastball thrown for Gray, and a big fly against him.
Mid towards short. Trevor Story's got it. Levi retired. 2 down.
Yeah, when you think about how many breakables he has thrown, let's go back to July 24th and the success he's had. Yet he's thrown a lot more fastballs here this evening. While they didn't have a feel for those pitches in the bullpen warming up, it's a big difference for him.
Cole 1 for 2 with a single, stole a base and a run scored.
And another fastball thrown.
That is ripped down the right field line. Fair ball. Cole will turn and head to second base. Carlos Gonzalez up with it. It's a double for Calhoun. 2-hit game, and David Fletcher will step up with the man in scoring position.
And one of the few batters he's thrown a number of breakables to has resulted in a couple hits against him. Sliding a curveball for Cole with a single and a double now against the breakable from John Gray. Actually, that almost looked like it was a changeup, a pitch he very rarely throws. He stayed back on it well and hooked it in the corner. Percentage-wise, less than 2% of his pitches this season have been changeups.
Fletcher with a bunt base hit. His last time up. Takes a strike. 1 for 2. Double by Cole. It's the 14th. The 5th Angels hit tonight. Really guides that breaking ball, doesn't he?
And for somebody who's thrown a lot of them, it's pretty surprising he does that.
Jose Alvarez getting ready for the 6th inning. Start the Gray had against the Angels up at Coors Field on May the 8th with 7 innings, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, no runs. But he's given up 4 so far. 4 2/3 tonight. 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. For the 3rd overall pick, 2013. The University of Oklahoma.
10-game winner for the Rockies this season.
Two on now. Fletcher hits one off the mound right to second. LeMahieu has it. A 2-out double, stranded in scoring position. We're headed to the 6th inning with the Angels on top 4-2.
That was back in 2002, Game 7 of the World Series. Percival on the mound. Aaron Ersteg catches that final out. And looking at that dugout, who's there but Mike Scioscia and Bud Black embracing for that World Championship year in 2002 for Scioscia and Bud Black. Here they are going against each other here tonight. Manager for the Rockies and Bud Black. 6 years pitching coach for the Angels from 2000 to 2006. Mike Scioscia. Home for the Angels for a long time, 19 years.
Yeah, Buddy spent a year here prior to taking the Rockies job in the Angels front office as well. Working with Billy. Bottom third of the order. Ty Buttry's back down. Desmond, Dahl, and Walters. Alvarez ready to go in the pen should need him. Buttry got a pop-up and 2 strikeouts in the 5th.
Talking to Jose Mo today before the game, and he was there in 2002, and the conversation between Bud Black and Mike Scioscia in the locker room after they were the smile on their face, but this stunned, can't believe what they just saw happen. Winning that World Series, coming back in Game 6 and then winning Game 7.
1-2 count on Desmond, who's hit 2 fly balls to center field. I wonder if Russ Ortiz still has that baseball dust he gifted him.
But you have to take advantage of Spezio with that big home run.
Full count.
So when you look at that starting staff that year, it wasn't necessarily deep, but the bullpen was excellent through that run to the World Series.
Chopper, left side. Semper's got it.
All 3 rounds they lost Game 1.
Didn't you guys go through something like that in '85?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We decided to lose first 2 games.
First 2 games, right? Yeah. So she's coming out. And that'll be it for Buttry with a couple of lefties due up. So Buttry, nice job at his inning in the 3rd. I like his arm. One of the 2 guys the Angels got from the Red Sox for Ian Kinsler. Pitching change. Angels on top.
Toyota dealers, by City National Bank, a proud sponsor of Angels baseball, and by the 2018 Subaru Forester, a whole lot to love.
Angels on top. It's 4-2. We are in the 6th inning. 1 out, nobody on. Jose Alvarez taking over for Ty Buttry. This will be his 66th ball game. Continues to extend his career best as far as innings or games pitched. 64 had been his previous high. We'll get David Dahl here, the left fielder, who's 1 for 2, doubled in the 4th inning. Alvarez done a nice job for the Angels. 5-3 with a 2.65 ERA. 52 strikeouts, 20 walks, and 54 plus innings. Now ball sounded like it broke his bat. Angel did to the backhand. Strikes.
Gets so much on that throw. Not an easy play, too, especially when you hear that off the bat. You think it's a little bit harder than that, but his bat was broken. Is able to come in the backhand and got a lot on that over to the top throw.
Walter's home run in the third inning, grounded out of the fourth. 1 for 2. And Jose's done a nice job of, especially over the last couple of seasons, is kind of a transformation from being a situational lefty to a guy you can run out there for an inning or two if necessary.
He's really maintained his velocity, even though he's already surpassed games appeared in. His record still been 92-93. He's had times in the past couple of seasons where he's gotten up there as far as games appeared in, and he lost a little bit on his fastball, but he's maintained it this year. I think he's been good as far as telling Mike Scioscia and Charles Nagy, I may not be right for a game that night, and just try to give him that day off if they can. He's not saying he can't go out, but he's trying to say, just in case, if I can get a breather, I'd love that.
(3-1). Line to right center field. Fell behind. The throw of strikes. Walters with a 2-hit game. He's going to stop right there. Big turn.
And you better get back quickly anytime that baseball gets near Anderson Simmons' hand. He was ready to throw that back throw.
I'd imagine he was chirping at Fletcher to let that ball go, so he had that opportunity to throw to first.
He was spinning around ready to throw the first quickly. And he definitely said something to David Fletcher, let it go. He is always moving around at shortstop. Slightly more aggressive approach for Blackman versus lefty as compared to Despaigne.
Yep.
With 3 walks.
Mentioned earlier, first time this year he's had 3 walks in a game. Fletcher a little bit out in shallow right. 0-1. Bouncer foul. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's just his 3rd career 3-walk game. He had 2 last September.
Mentioned Despaigne got the start, went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 2, walked 4. There's Odrisamer. Buttry an inning and a third with 2 strikeouts, and now Alvarez trying to finish off the 6th inning. The Angels up by 2. Off the plate.
That's a pretty good pitch. Just a little bit off the corner though. When you look back at Despaign's effort, that ground ball double play he got against Arenado really changed this game around.
And the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 4-2 Halos. Angels in the bottom of the 6th inning have Trout, Ohtani, and Pujols due up. 2-2 now. Blackman rips this one right to Albert. Glove stays on this time. And the Rockies are done here in the 6th inning. The Angels still leading it.
That baseball was right on Albert quickly, but was able to catch it. Trout leading off here over the bottom of the 6th.
market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this special offer. John Gray back out on the mound for the Rockies. 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. 1 strikeout, no walks. See at the bottom there that the Rockies have won his last 9 starts, which ties a franchise record. Ubaldo Jimenez doing that for the Rocks once upon a time. And Gray will face 3, 4, 5. Trout, Ohtani, and Pujols. Mike with an RBI single in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 2, picking up his 61st run batted in. Slider evens the count up at a ball and a strike. Just 67 pitches thrown for Gray. And that is pulled down a left field line into the corner. That is gone into the Trout farm. 5-2 Halos.
31 home runs now for Trout, 62 RBI for Trout. That baseball got out quickly down to the Trout farm. Another pitch in the lower part of the strike zone. He was ready to turn on it, and he rocketed that out. Get the foot down. Well, he got that baseball out in front and hooked it right down in the stands and right in left field. What a swing for Trout.
First home run since July 31st for Mike. Shohei hits one right back to Gray. Nice job fielding it. One down. Not a bad idea by Ohtani getting a jump on that first pitch. Shohei 1 for 3 with a home run.
But John Gray, you're thinking, okay, that's a pretty good pitch. It's lower part of the strike zone, but against Trout, he crushes everything in the lower part of the strike zone, in or out.
Amazing thing about that home run is, especially when you see a right-handed batter or lefty a pitch down and in, right? When they hook a ball or pull a ball down the line, you usually see kind of a top spin type of effect to it. As Albert takes a strike here to even the count. But when you hit the ball at 111 miles per hour off the bat and square it up the way he does, because of that bat path, that ball doesn't, most hitters, that baseball maybe short hops the wall. Maybe it'll go on some guys, but for the most part, short hops the wall or a double. That ball almost continued to rise. Ball was smoked.
Yeah, that still had, looked like it's still going when it crushed into that seat in left field. One guy I remember was really good as far as keeping that fair and hitting it on the line and getting out was Joe Carter.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it reminds me of the World Series for Toronto against the Phillies. A very similar pitch was down against Mitch Williams. Would line that one out to win the World Series for the Jays. But he did that a lot throughout his career. Not easy to do. You're right, Victor, keeping that ball fair and hitting it, be able to get it up in the air and get it out into the stands.
Barry Bonds was another guy that somehow kept baseballs fair. There weren't too many baseballs that were hooked foul unless he was out in front of an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, fastball in, either up and in or low and in. He'd keep that fair.
Full count on Albert, who's appearing in The Shining, apparently, up on the video board. This one's foul back.
Here's Albert.
Johnny.
That movie still scares me a little bit.
That movie's
pretty
trippy.
Yes.
Bouncer toward third. Arenado has it. 2 down. So if I followed up with Red Rob.
Yeah, that's one of those movies that gets me every time.
Stanley Kubrick, is that right? The director? Is that The Shining? If I got that right,
yeah,
I don't know how I did.
Yeah, that would be pretty good if you did.
First name that popped up.
That like Silence of the Lambs got me pretty
Yeah.
good.
Clarice. This one's fouled out of play. Anderson Simmons is up to it. Was Stanley Kubrick. Blind squirrel finds a nut on occasion.
Yep.
Simba grounded out to third in the second, and he popped out to third in the fourth. Two-on count. 5-2 Halos. We're at the bottom of the sixth. Nobody warming up for the Angels. So looks like Alvarez perhaps coming back out. LeMahieu, Gonzalez, Arenado due up 2-3-4 for Colorado. Bouncer to third. That timing issue still for Anderson is not quite there.
It's been a while for him where he's hit a couple baseballs good, but still getting himself out just a little bit in front. Speaking of not being out in front and jumping on a fastball in low inside part of the plate, 111 miles per hour off the bat. Leaders as far as MVPs in the voting in the last 6 seasons in the American League. Mike Trout's been in the top 4 in the AL MVP voting. The last 6 seasons for Trout. Outstanding. The all-time AL record, 7 straight for Yogi Berra did it from 50 to 56. Mike Trout with that home run tonight, all of a sudden you're going to get that name in that conversation once again. Healthy again. 2 hits tonight, couple RBIs, 31 home runs, 62 RBIs for Trout. I think right now I look at the top 3. You got Betts, JD Martinez, Jose Ramirez, or Francisco Lindor. Trout right in that conversation once again.
LeMahieu lines on the left, a base hit. He'll round and head towards second. EY up and firing. He's in there with a double. Leadoff double for DJ LeMahieu. Second hit of the night. That's his 27th double of the season. Angels have action in their bullpen now.
Very similar pitch to Trout. Wind out for a home run inside part of the plate. LeMahieu got that barrel of the bat and lines that one. With left field, ended up picking up a double.
There's Justin Anderson.
38 extra base hits for LeMahieu this year for the Rockies. Missed some times. A couple stints on the DL.
Gonzalez went the other way in his last at bat for a base hit. He's 2 for 3 tonight. 8 hits for the Rockies. Little number left side. Ward has to come in on it. Hasn't had too many of those at the major league level.
Pretty quick with the transfer, though. Pretty solid. Again, working with Kevin Johnson, Alfredo Griffin, a lot on that as far as coming in on the baseball and have to get rid of the baseball quickly. As far as the transfer, tough little hop on the run, off balance throw. Got a lot on that throw. Gets him at first.
Alvarez will be pulled here. With Arenado coming to the plate. Justin Anderson will be summoned from the Angels bullpen. Halos on top, 5-2.
The reigning NL Player of the Week. Well, starts off another week with another perfect swing for Chicago. The Cubs with a home run there for Anthony Rizzo against the New York Mets.
I thought you were going Harry Carey on us on it.
I thought about it.
Why didn't? Why don't you? I'll be afraid. Justin Anderson on our leaf here.
I'm still afraid. You mentioned The Shining. I'm still afraid.
48 game for Justin, 3-3 mark, a 3.40 ERA with 4 saves. Last pitched on Saturday. Faced 4 batters through 18 pitches. And hit a batter that was Altuve on an 0-2 pitch. Arenado, the third baseman, is 0 for 3. 2 groundouts and a pop-up. LeMahieu over at third base, infield back with a 5-2 lead here in the 7th. Breaking ball for a strike. Arenado didn't like it, thought that pitch was in. Two numbers at the bottom of the screen. 2 for 11 in his career here. But this guy can certainly turn that around very quickly. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That would have been interesting if that was called a strike. The backup break a ball on him.
Only one other game being played currently. Giants leading the Diamondbacks 2-0. It's up at San Francisco. They're in the 8th.
Was that race in the NL West crazy?
Bouncer foul, 1-2. I don't think anybody's going to really. I mean,
No.
unless something happens, run away with it. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
you
just
talked about that on the pregame show today. You're right. I can't imagine anyone able
No.
to run away with in this division. It's going to be tightly competitive all the way to the end. They play each other a number of games.
Rockies will play 23 consecutive games starting this weekend with the Padres within their own division. And then the last week of the year, they've got to play the Phillies and the Nationals. The last week of the year. Check swing and did not go.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Adam Hamari, the first base umpire, making the call.
See by this angle, if he did cross the plate, looked like he did from our angle. Pretty close. I don't know how he was able to keep that bat from crossing the plate, but his hands did.
Two. See foul. A check swing is like an NFL rule. You think you figured it out, but you really haven't.
No.
It's, who knows? Did he go? We don't know. Depends on the umpire's decision. You'd bring everybody
Oh,
up.
yes. Yes. That'd be old school National League umpire. Oh, did you look my way? Okay, yeah. You went.
Don't even bother looking. I'm going to ring you up.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Trevor Story on deck.
Yeah, I talked to many National League pitchers back in the day when I was pitching. They said if even anything close to a check swing, it was like no hesitation whether you're a third or first base umpire. Oh, well, yeah. The intent was you were trying to swing. Yeah, you went. And generally, when you look at replays, they're right. It's close enough where they're going to say, yeah, I think you went.
Fastball missing. Full count.
It's a pretty good at bat for Arenado right now. It's a dangerous pitch here for Listen, Anderson. He's got ahead, tried to get in the chase. He didn't chase. Now he's put himself in a situation, especially with the tying run on deck, to look for a fastball now.
Reaching for it. Bouncer over to Fletcher. It'll bring home the run. The Angels will take the out. 2 outs.
Now just 2 for 12 here at the Big A for Arenado. He did go with the fastball. He's a little bit late on it.
Come on, Trev.
Arenado picks up his 91st run batted in.
See the frustration by him there. He is a tough competitor.
Trevor Story 0 for 2 with a walk. Halos with 4 runs in the 4th inning to take a 4-2 lead. This after the Rockies hung a 2 spot on Despaigne in the 3rd inning. Could have been worse. Limited it to the 2 runs. And the Angels out of the Trout home run of the 10th. This one back up the middle. Kick save toward Fletcher. And they're not going to turn to play. Infield base hit for Trevor Story.
Check on him to make sure he's okay. That ball was a rocket right back at him. Eric Munson, Mike Scioscia coming out to check out. Justin Anderson on the follow through that baseball right back at him.
A heel maybe? Tough to tell. He appears to be all right.
Think about it, you're 50 feet away once you deliver that baseball, how quick that baseball can come back at you.
He was one tough hombre.
Yes. Now the odd thing is if that ball was a line drive, it hits his heel and goes in the air, you can catch it, that would be an out. Or if it hits off the pitching rubber directly on the line and goes up in the air, it could be an out.
So man on. It's 5-3. And Holiday takes a strike. 1 for 3. 2 strikeouts and a single. 4 for 12 now since joining the big club. 7-time All-Star. Batting title with the Rockies back in 2007. They found it out of play. So 2.
2 breaking balls in a row. If you're going with a 3 in a row, you got to make sure you get this slider off the plate and away.
Long hold for Justin. Slider gets through the legs of Arcia. Man in scoring position now.
This slider, one of those ones you try to keep that glove down just a little bit longer to keep it in front of you. Gets underneath Arcia and allows runner to get into scoring position.
Conversation now with Arcia and Anderson. Leadoff double by LeMahieu. Came home on the ground down by Arenado.
Arco, quality top-tier gas for less.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Breaking ball. That's very similar to the pitch that Arenado got rung up on the very first strike of his at-bat. It's 2-2 now. Fastball. Called strike 3. Down goes Matt Holliday. The Rockies will get one here in the 7th. It's stretch time. The Angels still up 5-3. down on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. Had thrown a whole lot of pitches, so that's why they continue to run it back out there. Why not? Made just a couple of mistakes. Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout.
Look at the fastball percentage here tonight. Just under 59%. Slider 21.3, curve 10, and more changeups than ever, 10%. This season, when you look at his percentages coming into this game, 50% fastballs, 34% sliders, 15% curve, and barely a little over 1% changeup. And we talked about how many breaking balls he's thrown since July 24th. Over 54% of his pitches were breaking balls. Not the case tonight. A couple mistakes on the fastball, hit out of the ballpark.
Bottom third of the order for the Angels. Arcia, Ward, and Young. One ball, one strike on Arcia, who's 0 for 2. A fly ball to center, the third inning, grounded out to end the fourth. Broken down, roller over to Desmond. One down. First man up for the Rockies. And that'll be if the Angels get Cole Calhoun up here in this seventh inning. Ward 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Over to third. 2 down. .84 pitches, 56 strikes, 20 balls with 1 strikeout, no walks. 6 hits allowed, 2 unfortunately left the building. Shohei, 3-run shot. Trout, solo shot.
Keep in mind, Shohei Ohtani threw a simulated game earlier in the afternoon at 1 o'clock today at the Big A. 50 pitches. Threw the ball well. Let's see him back starting very, very soon.
Anxious to get back out there, that's for sure. 2-0, 3-0. UI facing his original ball club, drafted by the Rockies in the 30th round back in 2003. Got to the big leagues with them in 2009. 3-1.
UI Jr.'s dad also played with the Rockies.
Part of their inaugural team. This a little floater out to right center field, a 2-out base hit. EY is going to turn and stop right there as Charlie gets the baseball back in, a 2-out single.
I wonder if that'll be it for Gray.
Cole coming to the plate. Walters, the catcher, goes out to talk with Gray. McGee's ready to go if necessary. Cole 2 for 3 tonight. A single and a double. And here comes Bud Black, so he is going to go to the left-hander. Gray will depart here with a man on. And 2 outs. There's the call of the bullpen, a pitching change. Here, the bottom of the 7th, the Angels up 2.
This one strikeout, no walks, couple home runs allowed, but Black gave him a handshake saying good job. Just 2 fastball mistakes, really. One to Shohei Ohtani, then Mike Trout. Both resulted in home runs against him.
And you know what? Had he not allowed 2 hits to Cole, probably would have given him the opportunity to finish off the inning.
Yeah.
But with 2 hits already, he's felt very comfortable. Cole has at the plate. Why not make the move? So here's Jake McGee. This will be his 52nd game. He's 2-4 with a 5.84 ERA, 43 strikeouts, and 44 2/3 innings.
And fastball is 90-97. Starting to pick up that velocity once again with his fastball. An important pitch for him. Curveball and slider.
Had a tough time against left-handers this year. .313 batting average against Jake McGee. A lot has been made of the struggles of the Rockies bullpen as Cole settles in. McGee's one of those guys that has struggled this year. Throw over to first.
There was a lot of fastballs, and I think that's why you see that average against lefties.
Nobody really talks about the addition of Son Wan-Oh.
He's been
the
really good for him.
He's been good, and he has settled down at 7th inning. Ottavino to the 8th, and Wade Davis in the 9th. Davis has had his issues as well. Second throw over there, and he easily back.
%88 of the time he'll throw his first pitch to a left-handed batter as a fastball, so Cole's going to be ready. Talked about it often how Cole Calhoun has had a lot of success on that first or second pitch seen in an at-bat.
Rips this one to right field. Jump on that first pitch fastball. A 3-hit game for Calhoun. Two on, 2 out.
He's going to be aggressive with that first pitch. Gets a fastball and lines it to the outfield for a base hit.
First 3-hit game for Cole since August the 16th. Now David Fletcher will bat with 2 on.
Cole coming into the game a .333 career hitter against the Rockies. 10 for 25.
One ball, no strikes. McGee, the 32-year-old lefty, originating the Rays system. That as a free agent this past offseason. 1-1. I guess I should say re-signed. The trade to the Rockies back in 2016. 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls, 1 strike. Trout on deck. Long look in for Jake McGee. 2-out single by EY, followed by Calhoun's single to right. Fletcher fouls it back 1-2. Colorado 3 runs, 9 hits. They've left 9 men on base. Angels 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Have stranded 1. Angels will have a left-hander, looks like. Coming on in the top of the 8th inning is Williams Jerez. He's getting ready. Called strike 3, bottom part of the strike zone. Fletcher goes down looking. 7 complete. Scioscia not happy. Angels still lead at 5-3.
Up by 2 as we head to the top of the 8th inning over the Colorado Rockies. Kent and Jose with you back outside the Big A. And don't forget, join us along with Alex Curry for Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealer. Certainly break this one down here tonight. We talked about it, Jose, in the pregame show. To get back in the win column and jumpstart this offense, it was all about getting back to the basics, and we saw that in the 4th inning.
Ground out at bats and also take advantage of every single opportunity. 4th inning, the Angels, it's a run and hit. Look at Calhoun looking in. He's called out originally, overturned. Then David Fletcher, man, go to work. Gets the energy that he provides and gets it going to set up for the slugger. Shohei, again, not wasting any movement on that swing. Great leverage, and the Angels on top.
Also show you Mike Trout's first homer since July 31st, who sent it back inside.
Thanks a lot, Fredchie. Justin Anderson back out to start this 8th inning. Desmond, Dahl, and Walters. Caleb Coward is the new third baseman, taking over for Taylor Ward. Desmond 0 for 3. 2 fly ball outs and a ground ball to short. Probably just a one-batter situation with the 2 lefties due up. Jerez ready to go in the bullpen. Three out. Missed inside a 4-pitch walk to start the 8th. Here comes Scioscia and a pitching change with lefties coming up. Williams Jerez will be coming on at relief in the 8th inning. Angels up 5-3. 3. Want to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Williams Jerez on in relief of Justin Anderson. This will be his 9th appearance. No record of 4.15 ERA, 8 2/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. He's allowed some runs in the last 2 appearances. One against the Diamondbacks, one against the Astros. He's got a man at first. Dahl, the left fielder, hacking at that first pitch, comes up empty. Dahl's 1 for 3 with a double.
Yeah, start him off with a slider there. Good pitch, first one.
Two balls, 1 strike. Tied him up nicely there. Fortunately, got that pitch in on the hands.
Now he has him set up to see if he can get that good slider to stay on top of the baseball.
Two. Slide it, full count. Chris Iannetta on deck. Pinch hit for Tony Walters. Take over behind the plate. And a walk. So 2 walks to start this 8th inning with the Angels up by 2 runs.
Now you wonder down when you're down by 2 if there's going to be a bunt scenario.
.219 average for Chris Iannetta. 1 sacrifice this year. And if you recall, when he was with the Angels, Mike Socia rarely sacrificed with him. Coward even with the bag at 3rd. Pujols back at 1st. 1-0. Garcia's going to go out, talk things over. He's the 4th reliever used. Buttry an inning and a 3rd. Alvarez 1 inning. Anderson 2/3. Justin walking the leadoff man to start this 8th inning.
I had a .219 batting average versus lefties. .219 versus righties.
One-0. 2-0.
Trying to get him to chase a changeup off the plate. Looking for that ground ball double play.
I mentioned the last 2 outings he's allowed runs. The first 6 outings when he came over from the trade, he was very aggressive. Coming after hitters seems to have become a little bit more tentative. Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon on deck. And then fouls it off. And that's a 2-0 fastball right in the heart of the plate. Desmond at 2nd. Dahl over at 1st.
It's a pretty good pitch. It's a lower part of the strike zone. See where it crosses the plate, but then unable to frame it was Arcia, especially with that movement at the end. But you want to keep that glove right there to give that presentation to the umpire that it was in the strike zone, because it was at the lower part.
The 3-1. Iannetta takes a walk, and they're loaded up. 3 walks to start this 8th inning. A 5-3 game. Now you got to deal with the top of the order. Angels have right-hander getting ready. The bullpen looks like the veteran Jim Johnson. Well, no place to put him. Desmond at third, Dahl at second, Iannetta at first. Charlie Blackmon 0 for 1, 3 walks and a line out.
Remember last time up versus lefty Jose Alvarez, he was swinging at the first pitch. You wonder if he'll be more patient after these walks here in this inning.
Nowhere near the zone, 1-0. Johnson's ready to go. He'll be coming on after this batter, I would imagine. 1-0 pitch. That's below the zone. And when you're struggling to throw strikes, I mean, it's tough to get a borderline pitch. 2-0. 13 pitches thrown by Jerez. 10 balls, 3 strikes. That started off with Anderson walking the leadoff man here in the 8th inning. Perez is 2-0. He'll lift one out the left. Playable for Ewing. Not very deep. Desmond back to third base. Not tagging. 1 down. Big
out, especially on that count. 2-0 count.
Here comes Socia. Jerez will be done with LeMahieu due up. They try to get Jim Johnson to come in here and try to throw a double play ball to get the Angels out of this. It's a bases loaded 1-out situation in the 8th inning. Another pitching change. Jim Johnson coming out of relief. The Angels still up 5-3. Jim Johnson takes over with a bases loaded situation and 1 out. Angels up 5-3. Easier to try to clean up the mess. It was started by Anderson and Jerez. He's going to face DJ LeMahieu. This will be the 51st game that Jim's pitched in. 4-3 mark and a .368 earned run average. LeMahieu tonight is 2 for 4 with a single and a double. Led off the 7th with that double into the left field corner. His 27th of the year. Halo's just looking for a double play ball. First pitch in for a strike.
The guy on the mound throughout his career has got a lot of ground ball double plays turned behind him.
He was hit into 10 this year. Desmond, the base runner at third. Dahl at second. Walters, or pardon me, Iannetta, the pinch hitter at first base. Breaking ball down the left field line. Could be trouble, and that is a grand slam. Jim Johnson hangs a breaking ball, gives up the home run, and it is 7-5 Colorado.
This Colorado club has come back a lot in games. Surprising went with the breaking ball there too, especially with his power sinker. That's the pitch you can get that ground ball double play. LeMahieu was able to keep that one fair for a grand slam. As now the Rockies lead this game 7-5. Hanger inside part of the plate.
Now when you walk the first 3 guys late in the game to start an inning, you're asking for trouble. Rockies delivered. 3-hit game for LeMahieu. That's his 12th home run. 46 runs batted in now. Bouncer up the middle, base hit. One run charge to Anderson, 2 runs charged to Jerez. 1 so far to Johnson. And that's it's been a little bit of a bugaboo for Jim Johnson of late, especially in the second half, Gooby, the long ball. He's given up way too many home runs for a guy that's known as a ground ball type pitcher.
And I think it comes down to that breaking ball, that pitch selection for him.
Arenado takes down and away. Hitless tonight. Did pick it up an RBI in his last at bat on a ground out. (1-0) on the move is Gonzalez. This one's lined to left field. Eric Young Jr. moving over, makes the catch. Gonzalez retags second base and easily gets back to first. 2 down.
This running play by EY Jr. out in left field. That ball was hit pretty well by Arenado.
So 2 outs. Gonzalez still at first. Trevor Story, the batter. A 5-3 lead has turned into a 7-5 deficit. And Garcia has that ball go through his legs again. No balls and a strikeout. Story. Wild pitch, putting Gonzalez in scoring position. Story's had a 1-for-3 game with a single and a walk. One to one. One ball, 2 strikes. The Rockies, that's their fourth Grand Slam this season. But, that is part of that whole maturation process, especially for Justin Anderson coming out. No, you got to lead. You got to come out here and throw strikes, get the first batter out, set the tone.
And this Rocky club has come back in a lot of games of late.
1-2. Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a called strike 3, but damage done. A grand slam allowed by Jim Johnson gives the Rockies a 7-5 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Rockies a 7-5 lead. We're at the bottom of the 8th. And a new pitcher on for the Colorado Rockies. Adam Ottavino takes over. Ottavino, 32 years of age now. This will be his 61st game, 6-2 with a 1.71 earned run average.
Ottavino's fastball is a good sinking action to it. 92-96 with a cutter, slider, and changeup.
Got that odd angle because he throws across his body a little bit. Chris Iannetta, who pinch hit for Walter, stays in the game behind the plate.
Still think it's a pretty good matchup for Trout, though, especially that cutter out over the plate.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ottavino takes over for Jake McGee, who went a third of an inning, giving up a hit. He finished off the 7th. Trout tonight 2 for 3. 1-1 outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
There's that cutter back in the 6th inning on a pitch. It was down. Trout lines it out to left field. Over 111 miles per hour exit velocity off the bat for Trout on that home run. 31st. The season 2 RBI gave him 62 on the year.
Missed in 3-1.
Faced him once before, walked against him. Trout Farm, the Hats.
Ohtani on deck. And a leadoff walk. First walk issued by a Rockies pitcher tonight. The Trout on board 3 times. Here comes Ohtani. Shohei did this back in the 4th.
It's John Gray at fastball, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Seen this a lot. Shohei Ohtani, left center field, way out. Home run of a 400-foot home run again for Shohei. 6 home runs in his last 20 games.
Tying run at the plate now. First one off the plate. 93 strikeouts and 63 plus innings for Ottavino. Cards first round pick out of college. Evens up the count. That was back in 2006. Claimed off waivers by the Rockies, and he's been with them for a while now. And he's done a terrific job. Home run that Shohei hit in the 4th inning, his 15th of the year. Now with 43 runs batted in. Pujols on deck. Trout at first. 1-1.
Tell you what, you can steal on him. He's allowed 17 stolen bases. It's a long throwing motion.
Now the 1-2. Breaking ball fouled off.
He had 17 stolen bases and 20 attempts against Ottavino. I think you got to go.
1-2 again. Reaching forward down the left field line. This one will fall in for a base hit. Trout had to hold up. Wasn't sure if Dahl was going to make a play on it. He lets it drop. A multi-hit game for Ohtani. 2 on for Pujols.
It's a good at bat. That was a tough pitch. Let that baseball get a little bit deeper in the strike zone. Runs that fastball. It's up enough where he can just punch that into left field, and still, that went pretty far. Just flicked at that baseball.
Oh, so tantalizing as an outfielder to think about making the play on it. But
that's the right decision.
Yeah. You might give up 2 runs there on an inside the park home run. The ball gets by you the way Ohtani could run.
And there's no way you're going to have any coverage in the outfield from center field.
Yeah.
You're on your own as a left fielder. You have to get up and try to get to that baseball once it gets back towards the wall if you don't keep it in front of you.
Here's Albert.
And keep in mind, 2 pretty good base runners at first and second.
Pujols 0 for 3. First one. Top part of the zone, 0-1. One ball and strike.
Go back to my Hyundai key for this game today with Albert Pujols at the plate. I want action. Albert, chance to drive the ball, but also real good speed on the bases. And with a pitcher on the mound, it's pretty slow to the plate. Could have some movement and potentially tie the game or even potentially take the lead here with Albert at the dish.
1-1. Way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Trying to lead off. Walk. Ohtani with a base hit out the left. Angels, in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, had a 5-3 lead, got turned around in the top of this inning. The grand slam by LeMahieu. 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Albert asking for time. Two-one pitch. Breaking ball lays off. 3-1. Simba's on deck. 3-1 Albert. Breaking ball.
That was a hanging breaking ball. One of those ones as a pitcher, you have to throw it in the strike zone. Spinning out right over the middle part of the plate. Albert would love that pitch back again. Bud Black, knowing the way Mike Scioscia manages, 3-2 count, no outs, senses that runners will be going.
Runners go 3-2, and that is ball 4. They're loaded up for Andrelton Simmons. So walk, single, and a walk.
Very similar inning for the Rockies. Top of the year.
Jeffrey Marte, the pinch runner at first. The tying run at second base. Go ahead run at first. Andrelton Simmons is 0 for 3. First one. The dirt dug out by Iannetta. There's O. We were talking about him earlier. Acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays.
Simmons 3 for 5 with the bases loaded this season.
1-0. Breaking ball chopped down the line, foul. That's one of those breaking balls that backed up, stayed on the inside part of the plate. So it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Everything else is final throughout Major League Baseball. Short schedule tonight. Total of 7 games. The Giants shut out the Diamondbacks 2-0.
Angels still without a grand slam this season.
Trout at third, Ohtani at second, Marte at first. The 1-1 pitch. And that is out to right. It'll bring home at least a run. Carlos Gonzalez, good arm, is there. Makes the catch. Here comes Trout. The throw to the plate is not in time. The sac fly. And the Angels are down 1 as Ohtani ends up at third. So Simba picks up the RBI. His 60th of the season.
I'll tell you what, you needed all of Mike Trout's speed to be able to score on that fly ball. Cargo got a lot on that throw to the plate and a very accurate throw.
Marte somehow stays at first base.
See how he got so much on this throw?
It's not a very good read by Jeffrey Marte. There's no cutoff man there.
And you want to make sure you put yourself in position to stay away from a potential double play ball. Trout using that speed, that angle coming in, slides in, Angels only down by 1 now. Good base running 2 by Otani to get the 3rd.
There's Francisco Arcia, 0 for 3. One ball, no strikes. Fly ball to center, ground ball to short, ground ball to first. Desmond's holding Marte on at first base, so a little bit of a hole on that right side. Arenado just about even with the bag at third. 7-6 Colorado, bottom of the 8th. 1-0. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. One Marte's on the move, and Arcia fouls it back. Had a pitch, a drive there. Good hack.
Yeah, you want a fastball up. You want something you can hit in the air, and he got the pitch, just missed it.
Jeffrey back to first. Ottavino's 1-2. And he got him looking. Got a fastball inside part of the plate, 2 down. So it's going to be up to Caleb Coward. This will be his first plate appearance of the night. Took over defensively in the top of the inning.
Throws him on that fastball, runs it back in and catches the corner. That 2-seamer that looks like a ball from a right-handed pitcher to a left-handed batter brings it back and catches the corner when it starts at the hip.
One ball, no strikes. Coward a 145 batting average, 5 doubles, 2 runs batted in. Leadoff walk to Trout. Comes around to score on the sac fly by Simmons. One-0. Breaking ball. Back door, it misses. 2-0. .25-pitch inning for Adam Ottavino. O's ready to go in the pen for the Rocks if necessary. There goes Jeffrey. Breaking ball misses. Uncontested, gets into scoring position.
Talked about how Ottavino is susceptible to a stolen base. Now 2 runners in scoring position. Also has 7 wild pitches this year.
.30 to Caleb.
.30 breaking ball.
See, I was going to say, still doesn't give in.
So over 80% of the time, they'll throw a slider here too on a 3-1 count.
The pitch. He went fastball in. They're back to load it up.
Buck Black's going to go to the bullpen again.
So 1-0, ready to go. A pitching change here in the bottom of the 8th. The bases loaded. It'll be Eric Young Jr. at least right now. We'll see what Mike Scioscia decides to do. Pitching change. Angels have them loaded. They're down 1. 6. It'll be Eric Young Jr. coming to the plate. Stone 1-0. Comes on to relief. This will be his 14th game since joining the Rockies. Picked up in a trade with the Toronto Blue Jays. And with Colorado, he's 1-0 with a 1.46 ERA, 11 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 12 1/3 innings.
Does a real good job as far as spotting his fastball. 89, 93. So a curveball, slider, and a split finger fastball.
36-year-old veteran, South Korea. He's got the bases loaded. Ohtani at third, Marte at second, Cowart at first. First one, EY takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. And you've got the top of the order, Cole Calhoun on deck. All 3 of these base runners, plus the run that's already scored. Ottavino's responsibility. 3 walks tonight, his 2/3 of an inning. Plus a hit. (1-0). Fastball up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ottavino really struggled against the Angels in Colorado earlier this season. Struggled with his command here tonight.
(1-1). Foul back 1-2.
He likes to ride that 4-seam fastball upstairs.
Takes low. They read that the whole time.
Try to get him to chase that splitter.
Downfield straight around. Dahl maybe a little bit toward the foul line at left and shallow. Blackwood straight up at center. Same with Carlos Gonzalez at right. (2-2) now. Check swing foul. (2-2) again. Fouled off again.
A little battle here. White Jr. just trying to put this ball in play.
Full count. Bases are loaded. And with 2 outs, the Angels will get the base runners going. Head start for everybody with Ohtani at third, Marte at second, and Cowart at first. 7-6. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Always ready. Runners go. 3-2. A little flare out to shallow center field. That's going to fall in there. Ohtani will score, as will Marte, and the Angels are back on top 8-7.
Boy, it's a tough at bat for EY Jr. coming through with another clutch hit in that Angels uniform. Placed perfectly. Another high fastball, this time is put in play. Falls in for a 2 RBI single. Fought off some real tough pitches. Got another fastball up and falls in nicely for EY Jr. Halo's back on top.
Very happy over at first base, as he should be. 8 runs batted in now this season in a multi-hit game.
What a good at bat, too. Fought it to a 3-2 count. Fought off some tough pitches.
Caleb Coward ends up at third base.
And when you elevate enough pitches, eventually they're the ones that if you put it in play could fall in nicely. You don't flare anything lower part of the strike zone. It's the elevated pitches.
Cole, the 8th man to step to the plate here in the 8th inning. 3-hit game for Calhoun. 2 singles and a double, and they'll check in on EY at first base. One ball, no strikes. His 3 runs, Josh Ottavino. He's responsible for Coward over third base. 2/3 of an inning, 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 hit allowed. The Rockies right-hander. Angels now with 10 hits. The Rockies 11. Down and in.
Spent a lot of money on their bullpen this offseason, the Rockies. Coming into the game today, second to the last as far as ERA for their bullpen.
Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Still in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch. In tight. 3-0. Fletcher's on deck. Angels, meanwhile, in their bullpen have Noe Ramirez getting ready. But Parker's pitched the last couple of games. Forced into the situation on Saturday night after the ejection of Deck McGuire. And they're loaded back up. The 4th walk of this inning.
Second baseman number 6, David Fletcher.
Overall 7th walk of the 8th inning combined.
Fletcher tonight 1 for 4. A single with a run scored back in the 4th inning.
Huge at bat here for David Fletcher and the Angels to try to add on.
Top part of the zone. 0-1. Breaking ball, ground ball to short. Story, a little bit of a bobble there. Swing! Oh, Mailsy and Desmond, 2 runs will score. Little bit of a bobble there by Trevor Story. And then had to rush to throw. Nothing Desmond can do. It's 10-7 Halos.
Boy, not many breaks of late for the Angels, but a break there. Those add-on runs, a gift from the Rockies. 10th error of the season for Trevor Story. Has been very solid. That short got underneath on that throw. 2 runs scored. Halos now up by 3 with Trout at the plate.
Man that led it off with a walk to start off this 8th inning. First one upstairs. Trout 2 for 3, single home run to walk.
Trout 1 for 5 versus 0. There's a lot of high fastballs generally.
One ball, one strike. Nice play by Chris Iannetta. Heck of a play.
I don't know how he even got over there close to be able to keep that in front. Nice job by Chris Iannetta.
Calhoun over at third base, Fletcher at first. 5 runs in, 10-7 Halos. Two on to Mike. Lays off. Back to the high fastball. Did not go. 3-1.
Trout always patient at the plate.
Lays off. Now tips it. Trying to hold off. So a full count. Fletcher will be on the move here with 2 outs.
Very few times you see Trout expand the strike zone. That one he did. A little cut action on the fastball.
Oh, so tantalizing. That thing just hung up there.
Yeah, that splitter didn't quite go straight down. It had lateral movement on the splitter.
Fletcher takes off and a walk. They're loaded back up.
That's 102 walks in the season. Trout and give Shohei Ohtani the chance with the bases loaded. Maybe this is the time for the first grand slam of the season for the Angels.
The Rockies have issued 5 walks in this 8th inning. Shohei tonight 2 for 4. Calhoun at third, Fletcher at second, Trout at first. Very good speed on the bases. First one is ripped down the right field line, towering shot, and it goes foul.
Well, this crowd was ready to erupt on that one.
We've seen the pattern of Sonwano going high fastballs to start many of these hitters, and he jumped all over that one.
One thing about Shohei Ohtani so impressive, he really is a student of the game. He watches what pitchers are trying to do against the batters before he comes to the plate. He's never seen a majority of these pitchers ever, so he's watching and looking for patterns.
It's the O versus Show here in the bottom of the 8th. The base is loaded. Ohtani didn't like that pitch, or at least the call.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little bit off the inside corner.
Oh, 2 pitch. Fouls it off.
That's the pitch he hits, been hitting out to left center field. Out over the plate, elevated. Always had a tough time with his splitter.
Just got a piece of it. Top of the 8th inning started at 9:41. 10:38. Rockies scored 4 on the LeMahieu slam. The Angels have answered for 5, helped out by the Trevor Story 2-run error. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. Trout then walked. Another 0-2. Called strike 3. That's not a strike. But he gets rung up with the bases loaded. And that'll do it. But the Angels won an 8th inning, Gooby.
Boy, what an at-bat for P.Y. Jr. How he's able to fight off some tough pitches. Eventually got an elevated fastball. Singles into center field. Driving in 2. Halos up 10-7.
They added 2 runs, make it 10-7. And we were looking for more. Shohei Ohtani at the plate. This pitch was called a strike to end the inning.
I mean, this is way off the inside corner. Shohei Ohtani, yeah. I don't blame him.
Nothing like having a little ump show late in the game. Noe Ramirez pitching his 60th game, 4-4 with a 4.76 earned run average. Matt Holliday, Ian Desmond, David Dahl scheduled for the Rockies here in the 9th. One ball, a strike. Holliday is 1 for 4 with a single back in the 4th inning. Popped him up.
A little sequence there. It's a good fastball, off-speed pitch, breaking ball, gets him out in front. Fly ball to Trout.
'41 career minor league saves for Noe Ramirez. Has never had a save in the big leagues.
Aggressive getting ahead right there with his fastball at 90.
Oh, what? Desmond Watkins scored leading off the 8th inning. One now. 1-2.
Now you would think he'd try that breaking ball off the outside corner after a fastball low like that.
No, he's the 6th reliever used tonight by Soch. Despagne went 4 innings. Buttrey an inning and a third. Alvarez for 1. Justin Anderson 2/3. Perez 1/3. Johnson 2/3. Johnson gave up the grand slam in the 8th inning. He's the pitcher of record for the Angels. The 1-2. Breaking ball out to right. Cole positioned perfectly. 2 down.
Left fielder number 26, David Dahl.
We've not seen too many of these type of games for the Angels where they've battled back late, put themselves in a position to pick up a win, much like they did a lot last year, it seemed like, because that one was just a little bit low.
Always fighting that last out.
I'll tell you what, for those that are still here, kudos to the Angels fans. What an 8th inning they saw.
They were on their feet.
Yep. 1 ball and strike.
That fastball by him.
One-two to Dahl. Swing and a miss. Down goes Dahl. Light that baby up as the Angels pick up the victory and come from behind fashion. 10-7 the final tonight.
Boy, what a battle all the way through. Some really good at-bats throughout the game for the Angels, including the biggest at-bat, our Land Rover player, above and beyond player of the game, Eric Young Jr., a 2-run single in that 8th inning, giving the Angels an 8-7 lead. That was on a 3-2 count, fought some tough pitches off, eventually got that base hit. Shohei Ohtani with a 3-run home run. Mike Trout with a big game with a home run, but E.Y. Jr. with that big at-bat, huge at-bat, as the Angels win game 1 of this 2-game set against the Rockies.
Not quite textbook, Gooby, but the Angels will certainly take it. They snapped that 6-game losing streak, and now 64-68 on the season. Overall, just a nice game for the Angels to be able to come back after what could have been a nail-in-the-coffin type of swing by DJ LeMahieu with that grand slam at the top of the 8th inning.
Just to respond right back like that. Good at-bat by Trout to start it off with a walk.
Yep, it all started with a walk, and there was plenty of walks. And let's go down to one of the heroes tonight, Eric Young Jr. Let's go to Alex Curry.
EY, what a battle tonight for this team start to finish. You guys needed a big win to turn things around. What did you see from this team in the 8th inning to come back and take this game?
Didn't give up. Everybody was fighting, had tough at-bats. Caleb had a huge one right in front of me to draw that walk to allow me to come up, and I think the credit goes to Caleb in that at-bat right there to allow me to get up there, and I was fortunate enough to, dump it over Story's head.
That was a battle for you at that at-bat. Take us through what you were able to do. Bases loaded, 2 outs, how you're able to get that game-winning RBI single.
I think the biggest thing was telling myself to calm down, stay patient, and make sure I get something in the zone. I know he's probably going to try to use my aggressiveness against me, and through the slider, the pitch before, the fastball that I hit, and then the one that I caught in the zone, like I said, I got enough on it to get it over Story's head, big moment.
Shohei Ohtani got this team their first lead. He threw a 50-pitch sim game this afternoon before the game. How impressive is that to see him come out there and hit a 3-run home run?
He's impressive off the charts. Not even just to do that, just the natural talent that he is. Glad we got him on our team.
Well, congrats on picking up the win.
Thank you.
The Angels come back with a 5-run 8th inning to take Game 1 against Colorado, a final of 10-7. A lot of action here tonight, so don't go anywhere because we're going to break it all down next with Kent French and Jose Mota on Angels Live right here on Fox Sports West.